Well, I don't think the Bible talks about them being after money, but it does warn that it is possible that some, as a matter of fact, have very base motives that are sinful motives for preaching the gospel. Paul said in Philippians, some preach Christ out of envy, some out of strife, but he said, at least I'll have to give thanks to God for this, that Jesus' name is being preached. So some were trying to tell Paul, hey, Paul, there are some people over here that really have got the wrong motivation, and they're talking all about Jesus. And Paul, rather than trying to take a confrontational kind of way and say, yeah, I think those buzzards, they ought to get it, came and said, well, listen, if they at least preach the gospel and mention Jesus' name, for that I will have to give thanks. But on the other hand, too, don't forget that everyone must appear before the judgment seat of Christ. This is not in order to earn their salvation, for Romans 8 says, there is therefore now no condemnation. So we've got standing, we've got status. All who believe in Jesus have got a very clean record. But there is fruit inspection, and 2 Corinthians 5:10 says, for we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ to give an account of the deeds done in the body. And I tease with lay people, I tell them, if you see a seminary prof or a preacher or TV evangelist in line, get in the other line, it'll go faster in the end day, because all tapes are reviewable in the final day, and those lines will go slower. So it's a little tip that I pass on to laymen. And I think that if some preachers have misused God's money, God's going to make them answer for it in the final day. If some have appropriated it to themselves and say, we need money to save the world, to help starving children, but they're using it on themselves, you can't fool God. He keeps very, very straight books, better than the IRS. And I think in the final day, there will be a big audit, worse than April 15th.